Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Snooker 19 career, the other O'Sullivan with me, Daniel. It's episode 10 and we're back for the bank holiday bonus episode as promised, as we continue our run in the Scottish Open with a 4th round match against world number 7 Kyren Wilson. That's right, after wrapping up victory against world number 6 John Higgins on Friday and then getting through in the 3rd round against Jimmy Robertson, we're back against Kyren Wilson for a massive game as we look to try and push towards the world's top 50. We're guaranteed 10 grand in prize money if we win this one, and as you'll see in a minute, we've got 2 bites at the cherry as we lead 2-1 in a first to 3 frame match. We were 2-0 up but threw 1 frame away, and now we've got 2 opportunities to win it against Wilson. It's going to be a difficult match as when Kyren has got to the table he's looked like a superstar player, but on most of the occasions we've not let him do that by being solid at the table ourselves and playing good positional shots when need be. It's Kyren Wilson to break in the 4th frame, so we'll see if he leaves us any tempting long pots. Fingers crossed he'll give us 1 or 2 just so we can get an easy break in the decider. It was the first frame that we really let ourselves down the 3rd one, and we've got an opportunity to get the pot on here. It is a difficult angle and it's not quite as easy to get on the colour as some of the others have been, but fingers crossed we'll be able to do just that and get ourselves on the black or back up for the blue. So it looks like the black's going to be tricky. That one's not going to be the easiest of pots, so we will just screw forward if possible to make sure we get back up for the black. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it, but as long as the red goes in the pocket, that's the most important thing. We can play safe from there if need be. We've cannoned the black full ball. That's not worked out at all well, and it looks like we're going to have either a tricky blue or just a safety shot to end the break. So the blue will go to the corner, but it's going to be a little bit of a tricky one, and I don't know then whether we can get on a red, as I don't think we'll be able to screw back enough, but we may even be able to come into the pack, so let's just hit it at 60% and see if we can do anything special. The blue's in and that's the most important thing, and although we've not managed to get on a red, it should be a relatively straightforward safety shot. One of the other remarkable things I should mention about this game, I know we've played 3 frames off camera, but the first frame of the match went to a respotted black after we drew level in the end. We looked like we were going to lose the frame, but Kyren Wilson missed an easy pink when he was 13 points ahead, and as a result we managed to get back into it and give ourselves a chance to win the frame. We're going to play this with 35% power. I just want to make sure we get enough power to come off the 2 cushions and get back up the table to vault. If anything, we've hit it slightly too hard, but the yellows come to our rescue and we've managed to get the half ball snooker on every single red, although this one's going to be a relatively easy safety. It's Kyren Wilson to play it down the table. It looks like he's just trying to stay into the reds, but I'm pretty sure he hit the pink first there, and either way he's left us an easy pot on the red, so hopefully we'll be able to take that opportunity. So there we go, the 6-point foul confirmed, but we're going to play on. We've got a brilliant opportunity at the pot here, and if we can get onto a colour from this one, we're certainly going to be in a frame winning position. The reds are split relatively nicely, and we can go through the rest of them here, and if we manage to get onto a colour after it, we're really going to be in a great position. So it doesn't look like we've got an easy one, but as long as we can get to that yellow, I think we're going to be on to win the frame, and I think we're just about going to get away with it. We're not going to be able to pot it, that is absolutely devastating, but we are going to be able to get in behind the brown and at least make it a very good safety shot. So we're just going to go for 24% power, try and get tight to the cushion at the top, but we very slightly overhit it, so it looks like we're going to bounce back off it. We've hit a pretty good shot though, we've not left any reds on to my knowledge. He'd be very bold to take on this one, although it looks like he may well be doing so. He's potted it to the corner, has he? No, it's just bounced out off the jaws. He's left a couple of reds on again, and surely this time we'll be able to win the frame. Let's just see if this first red goes to the corner. I don't know if it does, to be honest, but we've got the 2 below it, so it looks like we've got a potting angle on 1. It's going to be hard to get on the colour again, but once we do the first time, from that point the frame's going to be easy. So we're going to play it with 42% power. We want to try and get up for the blue, but we've taken our eye off the pot and we've missed the red, and now Kyren Wilson's got another chance at the table. He could well take it, he's a world-class player, and if we get to 2 all, I wouldn't fancy our chances. The red's in, and I don't know if he's on a colour. Even if he's not on that black, he's got the yellow to the corner, and I think this is going to be a big old break from Wilson, and we may well be into a decider when we're next at the table. So we'll let Kyren Wilson get on with his break, and fingers crossed we'll get one more chance in this frame. Okay, we're back at the table and it looks like it's our lucky day. Kyren Wilson's added just just 10 to the score sheet. He really made a hash of his positional shots. He never looked comfortable at all during that break, and now we're back with a pretty much straight red, and there's nothing pretty much about it. It's absolutely dead on straight. We're going to try and screw back a little. I just want to try and get onto the pink or black if possible. If we can get one of them back on their spot, ideally the black with the way the reds are positioned, that would leave us a free shot of the reds around the pink spot, and hopefully two options at a colour. Whether we want to go down for the black or up for the blue, we'll have opportunities to do both. So 68%, we need to get it pretty much right. 70 is what we've achieved, so it's a little bit of a difficult angle on the black, not so much in terms of potting it, but for getting on to the next red, although I think if we hit it lightly enough, we should be able to do so alright. So hopefully we'll be able to get onto this red at the bottom of the pack without getting the black in the way. It looks like it goes past the spot easily, although we may have underhit this one slightly. There's another red to the middle if need be, but I think this one's just about alright. So we are going to take it. We're going to leave the red that's loose on the other side of the table, even though it is probably the easiest pot on this occasion. Just in case we run out of position for this cluster of 6 in the end, we want to make sure we've got an alternative. We're going to screw back to make sure we get on the black. Fingers crossed that'll work out, or we may even have to screw forward in the end, but it doesn't look like we've got the best angle. So 16% power. We're going to overhit it slightly. We just nudged the black on the way through, but we've managed to get straight on it, which is just about perfect, as it'll give us a chance to get onto another red. So we are going to put the black in. Hopefully we can screw back at full power and just give ourselves this red at the bottom of the cluster of 6, which will open up another 2 or 3 once it's potted. So if we go for 40% power, it should just nudge off the cushion again, although we've overhit this slightly and it could have left us in a world of trouble, but in the end we're just about alright, and we've got an easy pot to the bottom corner. It looks like we'll be able to get on the black again, although we may have to come a little bit high. If we take the power off it though, the white should naturally come back down towards the top cushion, and then we've got an easy angle on the black. So 24% power, we're perfect on the black again, and then we'll give ourselves 2 or 3 potting opportunities now, as all of the reds bar 2 are nicely spread. So we've got a pretty straight black again. We can just screw back up the cushion, and if we can get a good angle, we've got 2 reds to the middle, or we've got a couple to the bottom corner. So 52%, we've slightly underhit it, and I might have got myself in trouble here. Hopefully we've just gone past that red enough that we can get to the other one to the middle, and thankfully we have. We've certainly got out of jail there. This should really be a frame winning opportunity now, although we may have to come up for the brown or yellow. So if we do that, and hopefully we won't overhit it, just to make sure we continue the break. If anything, we've underhit it slightly, so we may have to go for yellow rather than brown, but we should be able to get back down the table nicely and continue our break with the reds. So let's put the yellow into the corner. Make sure we pot the object ball first. That's a mistake we've already made once in this frame, and certainly one we don't want to make again. We should be able to get onto this red quite nicely. 45% power does the trick, and we've got one more easy red before the pack of 5, where our positional shots will have to be a little bit more precise. The red should be easy to the bottom left corner, the pocket we've been using the most in this break, and now we should be able to get a good angle on the black if we apply just a little bit of backspin. That seems to all be working out nicely, and it looks a pretty fluent break so far. A lovely shot with 38% power, and it's gone into the bottom corner pocket. We're on the black nicely, and we should be able to get an angle, but if we come too far with this one, it could be break over. We need to be careful. We may even want to screw back in the end. Ideally we're aiming for the cue ball to finish just where that blue line does there, as we've got that little gap between the 4 reds and the pink where we can get the other one to the bottom corner. I wouldn't bank on this working out well though. 28 or 29% power should do the trick. I'd rather underhit it than over at this point, and of course as I say that we've gone over, but it looks like we've just about got the angle on the red, and as long as we can get to the potting angle we'll be fine. So let's just see if we've got enough. Just about got away with it, and we could even screw back for the pink here and get the other colour out the way. I'm just trying to work out if the pink's on its spot, will that cause us more trouble than good? I think it might do at this stage, so we're going to come up for the blue. If we can finish just above it, that would be ideal, although I can't really see where it's going to end on this screen past the cue. Let's see if we can get up for it. We're going to have to play a bit of judgment here. 53%, we've underhit it by 1, and I think we've just about ended perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a much better shot than that. We may even have to cannon into the reds, but so be it at this stage, and we may even have to go for the pink in the end, as that looks like the better pot. The other benefit of potting the pink as our break gets to 36 is we should be able to hold for the loose red at the top of the pack. It just goes past the pink, and means we don't have to take any risks to continue our break. The pink's in, the red's got a decent angle. We would have liked it to finish a bit higher, but when we've underhit the shot we can't complain, we've got a relatively small cone for this one. We're not going to be able to get on the pink, so we are going to have to come up for the blue this time, but as long as we get on it, we're not too fussed, just to continue our break. We've got a really healthy lead now, so it's not like we're going to throw the frame away. We just need to get one more red and colour, just to try and make sure we seal it nicely. We're 46 points ahead now, and there's going to be just 51 left on the table, so if we can pot this one, we'll be 51 ahead with 51 remaining. At that point, if all things go to plan for Kyren Wilson, we could have our second respotted black of the match. That would be a remarkable incident in a 5-frame match. Let's see if we can get onto this loose red though. It does just pass the other two, and hopefully into the bottom corner, so if we can pot this with 48% and screw back nicely, we should have the red we need to decide the match. If we can get that red in and a colour, there's no chance of Wilson coming back to the table, and we'll be into our second successive quarter final, where hopefully we'll be able to get an easier opponent. I highly doubt it at this stage, but it would be an absolutely wonderful achievement, particularly in the first year of our career. We're going to go for 57% power. We've got the pink ball that we're going to cannon into, so we've just got to make sure we get a lucky deflection, and we have onto the black, and if we pot that, it's certainly frame over, and we couldn't be more proud of that performance. I really thought after losing the last frame off camera that this one was going to go the wrong way, but in the end we managed to get a good enough lead, and we're 52 ahead now, so this would be 59 ahead with just 43 remaining. Surely he wouldn't come back to the table then. We've got to put a bit of power on it just to make sure we don't get below the black spot. If the cue ball holds there, then we've got absolutely no chance, and as it happens we've got a bit of luck. We've deflected off one of the reds, we cannoned it nearly full ball, and now we've got a pretty straight red as we look to continue our break. We could even get near a century at this stage. We can get to 99 mathematically, but I don't think we're going to be able to achieve that, as I'm sure we won't get on all the colours, and I'm sure we'll make a mess of it somewhere. The pressure will get to us, but we're now through to the quarterfinals, and that's the most important part of today's episode. It means in Friday's episode this week we'll be showing our latest ever episode from a tournament, a brilliant achievement this early on, and what a wonderful way to mark episode 10 with another chance to get into a quarterfinal. 74% power this time. We have missed the black though, it nearly went in the other corner, but that should be the end of the match. We took our eye off the pot. We've got to get that ruthlessness if we want to make it right to the top, but for now we're delighted to beat the world number 7 Kyren Wilson, the second top 10 player of the tournament, and we go into the quarterfinals of the Scottish Open, hoping to get a slightly easier opponent. The highest break was 57, that was the one we just made there. Let's press advance to see who will get in the quarterfinals. Before we finish off the episode, it's important that we get a good opponent here. If it's a really reputable one, we'll show that in the next episode, but of course we'd like to get an easier opponent and try and get to our first semi-final. Kyren Wilson was a really good player. In the first 2 frames we didn't really let him at the table, although we will regret missing that pink, which ended up costing him the match. We've got world number 1 Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarters, so I think it's safe to say that's going to be the end of our run in this one, but what a wonderful reward for getting to the quarterfinals. To do it for the second tournament in succession is brilliant, and hopefully our ranking with the extra 10,000 in prize money will help us move up quite considerably. At the moment we're on 29,000 in 77th, so we will be going up to 39. That should take us up another 5 or 6 places, providing none of the players around us went on a run, so that could be absolutely brilliant for us. I've accidentally come out of career mode again, but there's no need to worry about that for now, as Sean O'Sullivan will place Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarterfinals. We're playing him in the big time, and we could be about to pull off one of snooker's biggest shocks. So you know what we'll be seeing on Friday? We'll be seeing a frame or 2 from this match, possibly towards the end of the match. Even if we're 2-0 down, we'll show you the last frame. But that will be all for this bonus bank holiday episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of that victory. I think it's probably the biggest one of our career, as the John Higgins we faced in the second round was slightly off colour, and I was delighted to get over the line in that one. But to beat the world number 7 when he was in relatively good form really makes me quite proud, and considering we're still in the first season of this career, albeit towards the end of it now, it's a brilliant achievement to be in our second quarter final where we face the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from 2 long-term stories, as my channel name gives away. There's also weekly content from this Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30, and we'll be back this Friday with Ronnie O'Sullivan again as we face the man we're hoping to one day emulate. In the next couple of days we'll also have our first episode from our Cricket 19 career mode, the official game of the Ashes. The game's due out tomorrow as this episode is released, and hopefully hopefully we'll get our hands on it tomorrow or Wednesday, with the opportunity to get some content out this week. So if you are a fan of other sports games, please do go and check that one out. I really hope you'll enjoy it, as I've absolutely loved the previous editions of the game. But a massive thanks for watching this one, and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time for another big episode as Sean O'Sullivan faces his idol, the Rocket.